We were looking at the role of wage indexation in the Phillips curve, where we talked about how wage indexation is a feature of labor contracts that automatically increases wages in line with inflation. So here you have a portion lambda of each contract that is indexed to the current rate of inflation, and you have a proportion that is not indexed, either based on expected inflation. Now we want to look at how we modify the equation of the Phillips curve under wage indexation. So we want to now look at the equation of the Phillips curve under wage indexation. So we derive the Phillips curve equation. This pi t is pi t plus m plus z minus alpha ut. We have already derived it. We derived it from the WSPS model, where we assume that wages depend upon expected prices, and hence expected inflation comes into play here. Because remember, the WS equation was W is equal to P F U Z. So when we derived this equation of the Phillips curve originally, we derived it under the assumption that all wages are set based on expected prices. Now consider what happens if lambda is a fraction of labor contracts indexed to the current rate of inflation pi t, the degree of indexation, and 1 minus lambda are updated based on expected inflation. Now, under this assumption, how does the equation of the Phillips curve change? Remember, this equation that we derived was under the assumption that all wages are based on expected prices, and hence expected inflation comes into play. Now we're saying lambda are based on actual inflation and 1 minus lambda are based on expected inflation. So then under this assumption, the Phillips curve equation is given as this. Now, instead of pi t, here we originally have pi t. Instead of pi t, we have lambda pi t plus 1 minus lambda pi t. Where lambda pi t are those that are indexed, those that respond to actual inflation pi t. 1 minus lambda pi t are those that are not indexed, that respond to expected inflation pi t, right? So originally we had pi t because the assumption was that all wages are set based on expected prices, and hence expected inflation comes into play. Now we're saying that lambda are based on pi t, and 1 minus lambda are only based on pi t. So instead of pi t, now in this equation of the Phillips curve, we have lambda pi t plus 1 minus lambda pi t. So note over here, if lambda is equal to 0 and wages are set based on, if lambda is equal to 0, then wages are set based on pi t, and the equation reduces to the original form, right? So if lambda over here is 0, the degree of wage indexation is 0, then all wages are essentially based on pi t, and we get our original equation back, right? So this is just a special form of this where lambda is 0, degree of wage indexation is 0. Right, so if we assume now pi t is pi t minus 1, if we're assuming adaptive expectations, that pi t is pi t minus 1 over here. So here we have, then the Phillips curve equation is given as this. And here we can take pi t minus 1 on the other side, and then we will get the new Phillips curve under wage indexation with the assumption that pi t is pi t minus 1.